think we get this up. Can I move this up again? Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. And good evening, welcome everyone. Congressman Green, Mayor White, distinguished honorees, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm so delighted and thrilled that you've decided on President Ford for this wonderful presentation, this wonderful award. I had the opportunity and privilege to work with the President during his entire time in the White House. And I believe and found him to be one of the finest individuals I've ever known. In addition to the daily meetings I had with him every day in the Oval Office, some of our most productive times were places like the ski slopes of Vail, Colorado, and in the tennis court in the White House South Lawn. So those are very special memories that I'll carry forever. And speaking of special memories, I'll always remember, and I know you will never forget, April of 1975 and the evacuation of Vietnam. I had the opportunity and the privilege to be with President Ford when he signed the Indochina Migration and Refugee Act, which allowed 130,000 Vietnamese to resettle in the United States legally. And also, a time I'll never forget is I accompanied President Ford, Mrs. Ford, up to San during his entire time in the White House. And I believe and found him to be one of the finest individuals I've ever known. In addition to the daily meetings I had with him every day in the Oval Office, some of our most productive times were places like the ski slopes of Vail, Colorado, and in the tennis court in the White House South Lawn. So those are very special memories that I'll carry forever. And speaking of special memories, I'll always remember, and I know you will never forget, April of 1975 and the evacuation of Vietnam. I had the opportunity and the privilege to be with President Ford when he signed the Indochina Migration and Refugee Act, which allowed 130,000 Vietnamese to resettle in the United States legally. And also, a time I'll never forget is I accompanied President Ford, Mrs. Ford, up to the first flight, Operation Baby Lift, of more than 2,500 Vietnamese orphans who came to the United States for adoption. And we literally walked up the ramp to the Pan Am flight. The President, Mrs. Ford, carried the first baby off the plane. And I'll never forget the President's words at that time when he said, "We cannot forget the living while mourning the dead." And it was a very emotional time for all of us. Now, I feel very privileged because I've also had the opportunity over the last many years to work with a great number of Vietnamese. I just mentioned a couple of people that I've greatly respect and admire over the years. Frank Zhao and his wife Kathy. I've known them for over 20 years, and I've worked with them on and off over various projects over the years. And of course, Frank's a very successful businessman, real estate developer, philanthropist, and was appointed by President Bush to the board of directors of the Vietnam Education Foundation. Ryan Hubris, who I've known for several years, a very successful entrepreneur and businessman, but I think for all the work he's put in here, putting this gala together, it's going to ruin your business. You've got to get back to work next week. And one last person I'd like to just mention, a person I greatly admire and respect, is Dr. Nai Nguyen. Dr. Nguyen is one of the foremost world-renowned physicians and cardiologists. And he spends about 12 hours a day minimum in his medical practice. But he spends every free waking moment thinking about how he can improve the welfare and the lives of his countrymen back home in Vietnam. And I greatly admire and respect. I've never seen a man with more passion, more dedication for his people. So feel doubly blessed to be here tonight because I am representing a great American hero in my mind, President Ford and the Ford family. I'm also reconnecting and seeing old friends from the Vietnamese community. I always felt myself part Vietnamese, so I feel so privileged to be here tonight. And if I may, I'd just like to read a short, brief letter. This is dated May 19th, 2007, to the Vietnamese American National Gala from Mrs. Ford. On behalf of the Ford family, I send our warmest greetings to all of you who are gathered in Houston for this exceptional event to celebrate the outstanding achievements of Vietnamese Americans. I regret not being able to be there personally to accept this recognition on my husband's behalf, for which I'm sure he would be very proud. However, I've asked John Carlson, a former member of President Ford's administration, and a family friend for more than 30 years to represent us. President Ford cared deeply for those yearning for freedom, and he had a particular fondness for the Vietnamese people. The conclusion of the Vietnam War brought much suffering, turmoil, confusion, and tragedy to millions. But seeing the success of the Vietnamese American community today makes us all very proud. You came to the United States empty-handed and now are in the ranks of America's best. From public service to technology, from academia to space, from medicine to sports and entertainment. Each of you here tonight and those in the Vietnamese American community are a shining example of living the American dream. We are so proud of you and wish the Vietnamese American community the very best. Thank you again for recognizing my husband. I am certain he is smiling down on us from above, enjoying the fruits of his labor. Signed, Betty Ford.
Thank you very much. That was a very inspiring letter. Really appreciate that. Just a few moments to talk to you about this Golden Torch Award. As you just saw, it's mighty big. It's also a bit heavy and very special. It's about 6.5 pounds of crystal, 16.5 inches tall, colored edge to commemorate tonight's